I love it when you talk dirty.
But KingTif, so I do want to ask you a couple of questions. How did your network get started? Like, what made you want to get into media? Do you remember your first interview? Like, all that good stuff. Just give us like a backstory of how you started.
I got you. I'm gonna try to keep it brief. I started podcasting in 2019. I did my first interview. Shout out to YFL Kelvin. It's still on YouTube to this day. I did my first interview August 2019, and I dropped it September 2nd, I think I dropped part 1 August 26th.
Okay.
I'm really big on dates, so I'll be trying to remember the specifics.
I'm like, you doing so
Man,
good.
I try
So
to
much better than me. I would
try
never
to be specific on this because it's my life. Like, it's been basically the past 3 years, 4 years of my life. I started hosting coming out of college, graduated in 2018, South Carolina. Shout out to North Greenville University. Came back, started hosting. Tried to figure out how to expand myself. So I was like, hosting's cool, but it's really hard to make your money. Right. It's really hard to make your name without like doing really big arena events and sold out, So I was like, how do I work it independently? Basically started a podcast. From there, I started 2 at one time called The Life of an Ex-Athlete because I was coming out of college. I played college football.
Okay.
Had a scholarship. And I was like, what do athletes do after they're done? And like, how is it?
That's a question.
I was going through it, so I just want to talk about it. So that was the first podcast. And then I did Couch Talk, which was a all YouTube interview show. So that was when I started really doing interviews. Okay. And I was doing that at the same time. So
not to cut you off, how were you going about like getting people in the interview? So what was your strategy with that when you started interviewing people?
Yeah. So that goes back into the first 2 years of coming back from college, and actually goes back into basically my father. So my father, he ran Schoolhouse Productions, which was a big party promotion, show throwing events in Cleveland, Columbus, Ohio, really. And so I grew up in it. I grew up around artists. I grew up around music, love music. I've been in the club since I was 13.
Damn.
I've been in the club when LeBron was there, when he was in Cleveland. He came to the Bungalow 5. Shout out to my father. And he was kicking it. I'll never forget those nights. And so I just started to learn the ins and outs of the entertainment scene. So from there, when I came back from college, I just ran into so many upcoming artists that I was hosting their shows. I was introducing them. I was introducing myself to them. We was building bonds. I had went to high school with some of them. I had came back. Shout out to Trench Boy Bricks, man. Shout out to Trench Boy Bricks. He actually blew up when I left for college on the hip hop side in the city, and I came back and he was just lit. And I'm like, man, and I put him on the show. And since then, I was like, man, I just want to help artists and just individuals because we're so talented, get themselves out there. So that's kind of how the interview started to come about. It was kind of easier because I knew most
a lot
of them.
People,
I knew everybody I sat down with first. The first probably like 50 people I knew.
So the chemistry was already kind of there because you had a relationship with them.
Yeah, so that's really what happened was I wasn't really trying to chase nobody I didn't know.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I was like, nah,
let me see what you about.
Go well. I'm spending money. I'm trying to figure this. I need this to go well. So I was trying to build those relationships. Fast forward to 2021, I went back to Ohio Media School in 2020. You know, the pandemic. So I just kind of like, I'm basically doing what I'm doing now. About every 2 years, I go back and I learn something. I educate myself because then I realize in that next year, I usually take a leap or a step forward because I figure something out.
It's time.
Yeah. So that's basically what happened in 2021. I started the KingTif network because I realized I needed to just put everything together. So I made a network out of it. So I was just like, let me just make a podcasting network because I'm trying to make these completely different ideas work, and I'm pushing 4 different links, and it just don't. It's hard to get.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it was hard to get people to figure out where to go. So I was like, I'm just focused on this YouTube. And we're going straight forward with the network. So now I'm here.
Oh man.